What's up, y'all? Back like we never left. Today, my favorite videos to make. The comments video, where I go through all my recent videos, not all my recent videos, some of the recent videos, and look at some of the comments and the best ones we respond to. So if you've been commenting, then chances are I'm gonna see a comment and I'm gonna read it. If it's not a trash comment, because sometimes y'all, not most of y'all, but some of y'all, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go through some of these comments and talk and just have a good time. I appreciate all you guys. A few of them are already up on the screen, so without further ado, let's get to it. So we're gonna start off with Laylo BCL. I don't know why in my head I had Laylo BBL, because I was like, ooh, that's a little different. Said in the trailer they're emphasizing his scar, but I think this is a hint that they will reveal how Shanks got the scar and his fight with Blackbeard. Maybe the fight was over the Gum Gum fruit. Remember, at Impel Down was the first time Luffy and Blackbeard saw each other's powers, and how shocked Blackbeard was seeing Luffy's power. To be honest, I don't think either of them thought the other even had a devil fruit power. I don't remember Blackbeard being as shocked, right? Honestly, I think if it's somebody that's a top tier, somebody up and coming, I assume they have a devil fruit, because being an up and comer without a devil fruit, it's almost impossible. All the Supernova, all the captains, they have devil fruits, right? All of them. Everybody has a devil fruit. All the admirals got devil fruits, all the Yonko except for Shanks. I think more than likely, if you're a top tier, you have a devil fruit. I don't know if Luffy and Blackbeard think that way, but for me, anybody that's a top tier, I am going to assume you have a devil fruit. For Yamato, even before it was revealed, I was like, she more than likely has a devil fruit. It's just how it works, right? Yes, I do think the movie could focus on how Shanks got his scar. They are emphasizing the scar and the trailer and all that. So if we got some Blackbeard in this movie, top five, because it's going to be canon stuff. I'm here for it. Mr. Nimbus says Mark's broken YouTube contact prevents any chance of appeal. Toei's bad, but YouTube, the company making money off him, has treated him much worse. Yes, we'll touch on this quickly. YouTube is mostly to blame here because it's YouTube's policy and it's YouTube's content ID system. That's not technically the law. Toei's just taking advantage of it because they can. So do you look at Toei? Toei's just doing what they probably should do as a large company, where it's all about the analytics, right? They're not parsing together exactly how much footage, all that. They're like, okay, it's some footage, it's ours. That's it. For YouTube, they're the ones that should be able to control this, some checks and balances, and there aren't any. So I blame YouTube more than anything. Goku 808 says Zoro and Luffy are using advanced Conquerors haki. Sanji hasn't trained for his power. He's not deserving or on the same level of the other two still. Nothing's changed. Luffy with Zoro right with him, and Sanji hasn't proved to be the same level, to have the same level. Sanji has not yet clashed with a Yonko or an Admiral, while the other two have and inflicted serious damage. Okay, let's dissect that. Says Zoro and Luffy using advanced Conquerors. Sanji hasn't trained for his power. He's not deserving of it or on the same level of the other two. Nothing's changed. So in some parts I agree. Luffy and Zoro have done things that Sanji he will do it eventually, but they are clearly right ahead in regards to accomplishments, at least. Saying nothing's changed, it's asinine to me, because I think logical minds would agree, out of all the people who got power-ups, I mean, save Luffy, because Luffy has gotten several. Comparing Zoro and Sanji, I think Sanji's had the greater power-up. I think Zoro's power-up does place him on another tier, another level, because of what he can do, the damage and represents, but Sanji's power-up, it completely changes the dynamic of how we view him. Sanji was not a glass cannon, but durability, it was a concern. Right? How much damage could Sanji take? That's not a concern anymore. And that was the major weakness he had. Zoro didn't really have a major weakness. So for Sanji, I think that power up, it changes a lot to me. Like before, when people would say Zoro would mid-diff Sanji or low-diff Sanji, story-wise, I was like, that could never happen, because Oda, he would never let it happen. But logically, based on what was shown, I was like, it's not that crazy. Now I look at it and I'm like, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight for Zoro, because Zoro's a favorite. He's stronger, but that's a tough fight for Zoro, no question. In regards to Zoro and Luffy clashing with admirals and stuff, they just have more important story relevance in regards to goal. Sanji's goal is not to become strong or anything like that. It's the all blue, the all encompassing thing. So it's different. So Oda's not going to highlight things like he will with Zoro and Luffy, because they're just more important. And those things, clashing with admirals, clashing with Yonko, it's more aligned with their goals, right? Because we assume if Mihawk is on that tier, on that level, Zoro, that's something you're going to have to overcome, something like that. But somebody who has equal, if not greater sword skills, who can use advanced Conquerors haki, who has crazy observation haki, who is a grizzled veteran, who is the world's greatest swordsman. That's what you got to overcome. So you got to prepare for it. For Sanji, it's like he's a support character. He's always going to be the third strongest because he has to support Luffy, and he's one of the monster trio. Strength-wise, not even talking about how strong he is and equating that to his goal, because I don't think that necessarily makes sense, because if he's just a chef, if his goal is the all blue, then he doesn't have to be this strong. But I think his relevance comes from the fact that he's a part of that group. His relevance in regards to strength, not relevance overall as a character. We know he's much more than that, but relevance when it comes to keeping up. Oda will consistently, even when it doesn't make sense for his goal, consistently, because outside of that, he has a role on the Straw Hats, right? To support Luffy as one of his top fighters. So when we talk about Sanji's goal, right? His dream, the all blue, he doesn't have a dream to be, no, but his role, he has to keep up. And the last chapter, people aren't talking about this a lot. He confirmed that he trains, and he has trained. It's not as obvious as Zoro and what Zoro does, where Zoro's always training, always lifting, but Sanji trains as well. It's like, why does a cook need to be that strong? Well, the cook has to support the Pirate King. When they were talking to Zoro about, hey, if we overcome this, it's in sight. It's not for his goal, it's for his captain's goal, his captain's dreams, which the Straw Hats, they all come together to support that. So we gotta stop using that argument, but he's always gonna keep up. Oda's always going to level him up the way he levels up Zoro and Luffy, because it's a trio. They're connected in that way. All that to say, yeah, I wouldn't say he's not deserving of his power as well, because he endured all that shit for all these years from his brothers and his dad to not deserve the power. What do you think he should have done to deserve it? Oh, you wanted him to train and get it. He's training right now. His body is adapting. That's just how his body is. He's a Vinsmoke. This childish argument about him not earning his power up, where it's like he's a Vinsmoke. That's how he was born. That's like saying Luffy doesn't deserve the voice of all things. He didn't train for it. He just fucking got it. Does that mean he doesn't deserve it? Oh, I'm not talking about that. Yeah, I know you're not. Descott Bacon says, yeah, Sanji's gotten strong, but the way King was playing with Sanji with the raid suit, even with those power-ups, I don't see him winning unless he unlocks Conquerors. I'm just saying, if a high-speed lion song isn't affecting King, then what can a kick do? Because at this point, King's durability is looking better than even Yonko, Zoro cut Kaido, but can't stretch King. Scratch King, I'm assuming he's trying to say. Yeah, so I was watching something recently. I think it was something DC, Superman, something Doomsday, something. It was like this Superman movie where Superman took control of the world, where he was basically policing the entire world, where everything was left up to him and Wonder Woman, I think. The point of this, right, is that Superman went up against this dude who could go through mirrors or go through reflections, whatever, and he couldn't do anything about it. Is this dude stronger than Superman? No, but it just presents a different matchup where you just didn't understand how to defeat him. Once they understood how to defeat him, he was taken care of easily. Now, this is not a one-to-one comparison, because I'm not saying King is weak, but I think there is a trick to defeating King. I don't think it's just hurting King. I think there's something else to him. That's why Zoro said, I have to figure out what he is, who he is, so I can defeat him. Sanji, when he fought King in the raid suit, was not even close to where he is now, because he hadn't unlocked his exoskeleton yet. He was going through some shit. He was even saying his body felt weird. But you're on some shit if you think King's durability is better than Kaido's. We don't have the full picture. Give it some time. I mean, Zoro used Ashura on Kaido. Didn't even knock him off his feet, right? Give it some time. All right, my guy? Luke says once Luffy gets Gear 5 or Awakening, he's going to be S+. Yep, I plan on talking about Awakening maybe this weekend or next week, especially Conquerors Haki, Advanced Conquerors Haki. I want to do an entire video about that, how I understand it, how I expect it to be going forward. Going to be a full spread. I may have a guest, to be honest. You guys, let me know below. Who would be the perfect person to talk to about Advanced Conquerors Haki? Anyone in the community? I mean, I don't know if I can talk to anyone about it, but give me your thoughts and we'll try to make it happen. Just have a nice, fun discussion with someone. Anyway, once Luffy gets Awakening, again, he's going to take another step forward and he's going to be clearly beyond those two. I think Zoro's always going to be fairly close. Sanji's always going to be, you know, slightly behind, but clearly behind those two. Once Gear 5 or Awakening comes, it's going to be like, okay, Luffy, come on. Like, he's on another level again. And right now, I felt like he's elevated a couple levels. It's going to keep happening. It's just going to keep happening. Pratt King _D says, Tashiki's missing from the swordsman list. I know she's a marine and not top tier, but she's better than Hachi. Yeah, so that's why that list is weird, because those aren't all the relevant swordsmen. The main person that I thought of after I recorded a video was Fujitora. Fujitora was not on that list, and he is a prototypical swordsman. How he dresses, how he acts, his Nindo. Fujitora. But typically in things like this, the Marines seem to be left out. When Kaido gave his top 5, you know, somewhat, no Marines. That's why you can't look at that list and say, oh, those are the guys, because you're telling me Garp isn't a part of that list? Huh? Sengoku? Akainu? None of those guys? Come on, guys. I mean, it seems like Oda saves the Marines for special things. So we gotta wait and see what he does. Lade212 says, Admirals equals Yonko. I'll die saying this, bruh. Don't. That's a bit extreme, sir, but I hear you. I'll say this. I had mentioned this in my most recent video. Being a Yonko comes with a lot of fanfare. It is an exalted position. It is a position with portrayal that is unrivaled, I think, other than by the Admirals. I think the Admirals have shown capabilities and strength, durability, endurance that can outclass anyone. Those are the strongest the Marines have to offer. We assume, based on what we know right now. We give the respect to Sengoku and Garp, but we don't give it to any of the new admirals because of Marineford, specifically. People go back to that moment, oh, all it took was Whitebeard to punch Akainu 2 times and he was out. Yeah. I mean, listen, emotionally, it's hard for people to disconnect from that moment, Marineford in general, so it's a losing argument if you're going with Admiral versus Yonko based on that thing. But I think when you look at story portrayal, what the admirals have, how Oda's been saving the admirals, we don't even know what Green Bull looks like, for Christ's sake. We don't know what he looks like. Do you think once we see him, know what he can do, he's gonna be somebody we can just walk over? I don't get it. I don't understand the admiral disrespect. Yes, I would say I'm an admiral fanboy, and it's solely because they get disrespected so much. But people are just so content with riding the Yonko, right? To the point that it's just like, do you guys think they're immortal? And it's so weird because the same people switch up every time something bad happens to Yonko. Oh, Big Mom is trash. Frankie used a motorcycle to ride over her. Oh, Kaido is trash. The Scabbards can stab him. And I'm like, bro, if you think all these different characters are being done over by Straw Hats and Scabbards, do you think that the admirals are getting clobbered and owned by the Yonko? Like, people really think that the Yonko can low diff the admirals. I mean, even somebody on Twitter last night. The admirals will show you guys why they are the Marines' greatest fighting force. Y'all will see. Y'all will see. On cue, the wolf. Every Yonko takes at least 3 admirals. I'm tired. Smackha said, where's this info coming from? I'd love to be able to read it myself. He was asking me about the SPS. It is on the libraryofahara.com. I believe I linked it below. If I didn't, I'll go back and do it. But the libraryofahara.com, he translates the SPS. There are a lot of people that do it on Twitter, but Arthur is somebody I go to typically. If he doesn't translate it, I go to Scotch Informer on Twitter, or even Soulstorm. He normally does it. So yeah, there's a lot of people. You just got to be in the know a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Freddie Thompson asks, why do people even like Usopp? You know, I was you, maybe last year, 2 years ago. And the more I rewatched, the more I reread, I realized just how important Usopp is to not only every single plan, but also the relationships that's been cultivated. I think a lot of times what goes unnoticed, right, is that Usopp isn't the only person that's nervous about going to a new island, right? Luffy's excited, but I think other people are kind of like, a bit on edge, like what's going on? And Usopp is always the person to calm everyone's nerves, because he's like, oh, I'm not scared, but I think I have, you know, I can't go to that island syndrome. And then everybody's like, come on, what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden it changes the whole view, and the tone changes where everybody's now relaxed. Luffy runs off, right? And that's just going to a new island. On the island, because Usopp is the weakest Straw Hat, right? And because Usopp is typically the person that doesn't want to do things, the coward. When he steps up, it is such a motivator. It is such a jolt, because if Usopp is doing that, the things that we can do, we have no choice but to press forward. So Usopp presents things like that. I'll get more into it when I make my Usopp video, but his importance, I think, is very undervalued. I think we get caught up in strength, right? And then we look at the character, oh, he's always scared and running away. But look at the moments where Usopp came through. We needed him, man. We did. So shout out to fucking Usopp, bro. Such Fruct 6112, I know I butchered it, but he was saying, there's no way Law or Killer are that high in percentages. What we know about Advanced Conquerors is that it separates the strong from the truly strong, so they have no way of competing. Advanced Conquerors may have broken the system, may have broken the power system, because people feel like as long as you have Advanced Conquerors, nobody can compete, which is bullshit. Okay, here's the thing. If we're saying that, then that means that the people that have Advanced Conquerors, only the Yonko. And we're assuming everybody Advanced Conquerors is on the same level, right? Do you think somebody's Advanced Conquerors could be more potent, stronger than somebody else's, right? Do you think somebody has Advanced Conquerors, how do they compete with someone that has an Awakening? We can't just look at Advanced Conquerors and say, oh my God, it's just completely on another level, which I agree, it gives you another weapon in your arsenal, for sure. But if you think the Yonko have Advanced Conquerors, then all the admirals do. I do think, right, more will be revealed about Advanced Conquerors, but we have to look at the situation and understand what's happening. Yes, Zoro could have Advanced Conquerors, but Law has the most broken devil fruit in the story. That's how you make up the difference. Let's say the admirals don't have Advanced Conquerors, but they have broken devil fruits that can cover a wide range and change the landscape. They are awakened users. You understand? So Advanced Conquerors does put you on another tier, but don't say nobody can compete. You can compete in different ways, and I think that's what Oda is trying to tell us with Katakuri versus Luffy's fight. Yes, Katakuri had future sight that Luffy couldn't even understand or comprehend, but he had other ways in which he can compete. And in One Piece, that's always the message. There are always ways in which you can make up the difference. I remember I was talking to someone, and I said in One Piece, the reason why I don't get mad at power scaling anymore is because I look at it differently. Let me tell you guys how I look at it. It's literally a rubber band, right? Or slingshot, right? And this is typically how it is, but in One Piece it's more clear that you have someone up here, you have someone down here. If it's a rubber band, you can stretch it, right? And it retracts and it goes up. And then sometimes it overlaps and it goes way past its capabilities, right? Because of its stretchiness. In One Piece, sometimes people can fight beyond their capabilities. And sometimes people can fight below their capabilities. Sometimes it's not the best situation for everyone. It's not the environment, it's not the location, it's not the data, don't have the motivation. And so for someone like Luffy versus someone like Katakuri was stronger. But in regards to motivation, in regards to purpose, in regards to goal, Katakuri could not compete with that. So that rubber band where Katakuri is coming down and Luffy's going up, it got to the point where Luffy was above Katakuri. That's just how it goes sometimes in One Piece. Sometimes they overlap where somebody that is clearly stronger, they have a down moment and somebody takes advantage of that and they lose. But that's what happens. We've seen in boxing, wrestling, UFC, where somebody's the favorite, but they lose. How did they lose? They were the favorite. Well, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Jamie Vasquez says, if Law says back like we never left, you won at life. I mean, if Oda does some shit like that, right? Acknowledging me like that. Y'all can't talk to me. Can't talk to me no more. That's it. It's over. It's over. I swear to God, it's over. I think we've gone long enough. We've talked about enough. Let me look at one more question. Gotta be a different question though. Lord Nemo says, I remember Sawyer getting caught by the author of Naruto in the bathroom. Yeah, that did happen. Kishimoto. That's crazy. That's still a crazy story. Gotta go back and watch that. Shout out to Sawyer. Something as well that I'm gonna do, like, I know I said I didn't want to react to videos that people haven't given me approval for or whatever. Fuck it, man. We gonna do it. So I'm gonna make a community post about like, hey, send the videos you want me to react to from your favorite creators, favorite One Piece creators. I'm gonna react to them. Not the entire video, but just gonna react to a part of it and just throw a compilation together of me reacting to people's videos. Anybody, once I make the community post, spam it with the videos you want me to watch, and it better be good videos because I'm gonna be super honest with these videos. You know what I'm saying? So give me your thoughts, guys. How do you feel about it? Please keep commenting. I appreciate all of them. I love talking to you guys. Live streams are coming. I'm gonna have some live streams this month for sure. Just getting some things together, but thank you guys so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you again. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAs. Follow me on Instagram, BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.